It's time for the CMC Super Show.
CMC.
Super Show.
CMC.
Super Show.
CMC.
Super Show.
CMC.
Super Show.
CMC Super Show.
Good afternoon, Rota. As you heard, it is time for the CMC Super Show. Hello, CMC. How are you doing this afternoon?
Good. Nice to be back again. Good afternoon to all our listeners to CMC Super Show.
Yes. And we also have a guest with us as well.
Yes, we do have our special guest today. We're going to talk about him later on. HMCM Wasim Mohammed. He's the newly reported Command Master Chief for NMRTC Rota Hospital. So we're going to talk to him and ask him a few questions and welcome him aboard.
Yes. And of course, it is summer here in Andalusia. Have you been able to get to any of the beaches yet, or avoiding the crowds or anything?
Yeah, so we have family friends that came in for about 10 days, and of course, summertime, perfect timing. Took them out in Rota, in a couple of beaches, out in Rota, and then Puerto side. They enjoyed it. It's getting crowded. As I was told, hey, summertime, you gotta have reservation on any restaurants. Parking is gonna be tougher or hard to get, hard to find, right? So,
Yes.
Not as bad as I expected, but it'll get worse soon. So, yes.
Okay.
Taking advantage every minute of it until sunset, right?
Very much so, yes. And it's starting to get hotter as well, so I'm like, I need to remember to put my sunscreen on my body in addition to my face.
That's correct.
And then I know that we recently just had the field day and the graduations at the Dodia School, so were you able to attend any of those events?
Yes, I did. Field day for about 30 minutes there, showed up, and then of course the graduation for it's really the 5th grade and below bell ringer. So it was a great event. I know my 2 kids that's attending the day or DGF actually appreciated and enjoyed it. Of course, now summertime, they're excited for what else we got for them, but at the same time, they kind of miss some of their old classmates and hoping that they're going to see most of them again right in the same class. So we'll see.
Okay. How does that work in terms of moving all over with schools?
I'm pretty sure it's tougher for teenagers, but I still have 8 and 6 years old.
Okay.
But yeah, they'll get used to it over time. So hopefully we don't get too comfortable. Then we'll see how it goes next time.
Okay. And then now that they're out of school, like, are you guys planning to do any big trips or MWR programs or anything like that?
We're looking into a couple of MWR programs and a couple of places, but right now nothing solid. I would say we just got back the last 2 long weekend previously from Gibraltar and also Morocco, right? With all the training completion, it's just intrusive paperwork you got to submit, individual ATP. To the command, and then after that, you got to submit Apex, and don't forget your shots too, right?
Right.
So that's really a big process just to go to Morocco, which is really driving from Rota to Tarifa port. Takes about an hour and a half, and then hop on the ferry there. Takes about 45 minutes or so.
Okay.
And then once you're in Morocco, it's good. I would say 2-day trips, 3 days. It's more than enough.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know all of that. And of course, with the summer PCS season upon us, CMC has a couple of newbies here to talk about the transition to Andalusian life, so you don't want to miss it. And we are back with our CMC here. And we would like to welcome CMC Wasim Mohammed from the Navy Medical Readiness Training Command Rota, better known as the Rota Hospital.
All right, so before we start, happy 127th birthday to our hospital corpsmen. So today is actually a great day for our, medical side corpsmen. And with our special guest, right? Perfect timing. We have HMCM Wasim Mohammed.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about this. When did you arrive, Rota?
Hey, so I arrived in Rota on the 8th of June, so over a week.
So what was the first thing that you realized was very different here than, I would say, you came from Bahrain, right? I've been in Bahrain, but I want to see your perspective and what's the difference your first few days here, right?
So my first few days here, the weather is actually a lot cooler than, I know everyone is saying it's hot, but compared to Bahrain, it is cooler. And of course, the trees and all the grass and all the things that you don't get to see in Bahrain. So there's a lot more sand in Bahrain. So
That's
really
right.
appreciated that.
Okay, were you able to explore Rota yet, or Puerto, or any neighboring town south?
Yeah, so my daughters and I, we actually ventured out to the feria in Chiclana.
Over
the weekend. So that was a great way to kind of explore.
And
Rota.
Chiclana, they do have a few beach resort, a family resort as well.
Okay.
So we were there, I would say last month, and I'm gonna tell you, you got a kids pool, splash, kind of like splash, area there, right, pads, and you got the adult swimming pool. Great for family. I would say also a golf course right there, So if you want to spend a couple of days weekend, get away from Rota, Chiclana is one of those places.
Sounds like great advice.
Yeah, and is there any other places or historic sites, foods, or events you already had on your list to do before arriving? Like when you were in Bahrain, got your orders. All right, when I get to Rota, this is what I need to do, right? I must do before I even check into the command, right? Your expectation.
I think, the beaches, again, compared to Bahrain, they're a lot different here. And the one food I did wanted to try was the grilled octopus. I guess they call it the pulpo.
Yeah.
So that was something I had to try this weekend, so that was really great.
Good. And there's more to explore as far as Spanish cuisine. Like when I first got here 8 months ago, we have to try everything, right? And there's similarities to our food, Filipino cuisine, and some food that I'm used to. It's just called different here, right? So, all right, then of course, like you would definitely ask, all right, what else is there to do or visit here, right? What do you think?
I enjoy.
Recommendation.
So there's actually a restaurant. It's right by the Rota sign, Restaurante Baralukake, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I love their lamb chops, and it's like when you walk in, there's a cooler that shows you all the meats that they offer there. But they do have the grilled octopus, they have the lamb chops, they have urta, right? The specialty fish down here. I haven't tried it yet because I'm like, it's a little hefty to try it, So I'm like, if I can sample that anywhere else, that would be great. Of course, there's also azúcar, which is on the beach as well, which is more Cuban, but it's still like nice.
One of my favorite spots, right there on the beach, far right side. If you're facing the water, all the way to the right, you can find a parking spot like on the street somewhere, right? So definitely a must visit. Right on the water.
So my sponsor actually took me there first. So
yeah,
I think that was a great way
great sponsor there
to get into to transition into Rota. Absolutely.
So are you a foodie?
I am a foodie.
Okay, so plenty different options here. Plenty options from Italian down south, and there's a restaurant, Italian restaurant right there on the center of Rota, around the plaza. That's one of those, there's a show on Netflix or a movie like Nana or something. It's like all these grandmas actually started this Italian restaurant. So similar to that, you have all these old ladies actually cooking Italian home cooked, like not. It's really authentic Italian food, right? So it all depends on what you're craving. There's a lot of food places here. Same thing with the Thai restaurant, right? So it's down in Rota. So plenty of options there.
And then I've been to one further away. But hopefully the jet lag hasn't hit CMC Muhammad too hard, because we have more hard-hitting topics coming up right after the music break. I'm Seaman Hepburn, and we are back with CMC Alvarado.
All right, good afternoon again, Rota family. I am with HMCM Wasim Mohammed. So let me ask you this, Master Chief. Where you from? You mentioned you have your daughter with you, and then how long you been in the Navy, and what's your hobby?
All right. Well, I grew up in Dallas, Texas, and I've been married with 3 kids. My son's 20, and he's in college in upstate New York, and then twin girls that are 18, and they just graduated this year.
Nice. I'm gonna get there eventually. And then how long have you been in the Navy?
Been in the Navy 27 years, and I enjoy running, cooking, and just hanging out with the family.
Good. So is this gonna be your last tour, or
this is the Twilight tour?
Okay, good.
Unless something else happens.
All right. So what got you to originally to join the service? Right, 27 years ago, out of high school or some college. And then you decided to, let me join the Navy.
Yeah, so it was directly a little bit out of high school. I joined educational opportunities. I think those are some things that I was seeking for, and just looking for ways to make myself better. Okay,
so what makes you join Corpsman with all these other rates options that was given to you?
So I actually volunteered at a ER when I was in high school, and that kind of exposed the medical field to me. And one of the nurses was she had enlisted into the Navy, and we had a discussion about the Navy, and she told me about all the opportunities. So I took her up on that offer, and I actually walked into the recruiter's office. So this is probably one of the easy recruiting quotas for him, but I was able to, negotiate going directly to HM school. So when I enlisted, I actually already had a quota directly to HM school.
So did your recruiter didn't really disclose everything, lie, or what, was he really completely honest?
Completely honest. I still stay in communication with him, believe it or not, and nothing unexpected. I think I was set up for success. So.
Well, that's good to know. And then what has been your proudest moment across your entire 27th Navy career?
That's a great question, CMC. I'll tell you, it starts with becoming a dad is important. So that was one of the big things in my career, and of course, making chief was a big transition for an enlisted sailor. And but I'll tell you, the biggest one was transitioning from chief, CNC, but Master Chief was a big transition.
Yeah.
That was an important, and you can definitely tell the difference.
And then now you get into this role as the senior enlisted leader, right? Takes you away from being the SME, being a corpsman. Now you're still a corpsman, but at the same time you're still within your community. But now it's different responsibilities, right? So, what do you think would be your challenges, or so far, what's been what's your goal, like as the senior enlisted for our Rota hospital?
So my goal for the team here is to make sure that we're successful as a command, and then we're prepared to provide service to our beneficiaries and also the operational commanders. That's important. That's why we're here, number one.
Okay, good. And then, of course, probably when you start interacting with some of your junior sailors, you might get asked, "Hey, Master Chief, what's your legacy want to be?" Right? Desired end state of for when you leave Rota. So what does that look like?
My goal for once you want to leave the place better than you found it. That's absolutely important. Remaining humble is important, and my job is to give 100% to our command and our sailors every single day. And servant leadership is important. And so those are some of the things that I want to do while I'm here, is just leave the place better than I found it.
True. And then any ways to reach your goal, the CMC or leadership advice that has prepared you for the new role now, right, with the hospital?
Yes, one of the things I've learned as a leader and being mentored was, it takes courage to stand up and speak, but it also takes courage to sit down and listen. And as a leader and in the position that we're in right now, listening is probably one of the most important tools for us as a leader. So I try to hone that skill in because that's important to me.
True. You know, I've learned that over time too. It's not automatic, right? So when it's part of maturity, part of being a better leader. It's important to get feedback from our sailors. That's one of the things too. Now, what do you think I can help you, or any support you need from the base leadership, right? To make sure that I provide everything that you need to perform your job as senior enlisted leader. What do you need from me?
I think first and foremost, we're a team. We're in this together. So whatever the needs are for the community or for the base, those are things that we want to know so that we can better offer our services and making sure that everyone is taken care of. And warrior readiness is absolutely important, and also family readiness is important as well. So those are things that we have to communicate and be as a team so that we can be successful.
Great to hear from you. Over to you.
Alrighty. Well, thank you to CMC Muhammad for joining us for the CMC Super Show. We've got more incredible guests coming on after the break. All right, we have some fire guests joining us today. You could even say they're explosive. It's GM2 Canta and AO2 Mendoza from Navy Munitions Command Atlantic Detachment Rota.
All right, welcome back and good afternoon to all our Rota family listeners. In front of me I have GM2 Canta and AO2 Mendoza. So, to get to know you better, we are going to play a quick game that is tradition on the show called Take 5. So let's do it. First, where are you from and what family do you want to shout out on the radio?
Hi, my name is AO2 Mendoza. I'm from Oxnard, California, and I would like to shout out my 805 community and NMC family.
Oh yeah, NMC. GM2?
Hi, my name is GM2 Canta. I am from San Francisco, California, and I want to give a shout out to my family from Cali.
Oh yeah, California, expensive place. All right, so now we were talking offline. GM2 Canta's last name is really what in Tagalog?
It means sing.
Sing, right? So canta, similar to Spanish, it's like sing, song, however you want to say it. And that's how it is. So, are you good in karaoke?
No, I'm not.
Come on, it should be in your blood, right? All right, so second question. How long have you been in the Navy, and why did you join?
I've been in for 6 years. I joined because I saw it as a new opportunity to help my family back home and for school.
Okay, GM2, how about you?
For me, I've been in for almost 8 years now. I joined the military or the Navy because my mom mentioned me that my cousin's in the military also. And since college is expensive, I thought it would be a good idea to join the Navy.
Well, you made a great choice, I hope.
Yes, I hope so.
Are you doing any college educations for the last 8 years?
No, Master Chief.
All right, we're going to talk after this, all right? Because if not, I'm going to talk to AOCM here shortly. Okay, yes. Get you started. Okay. Now, how long you been here, Mendoza? In Rota.
I've been in Rota for a year and a half.
A year and a half, and yes. How about you, GM2?
I've been in Rota for almost 2 years now.
Okay, so now that leads to my third question. What has been one of your favorite aspects of serving in Spain?
I think it would be, well, the different way of handling what we do. I guess the different food, traveling.
Traveling opportunities, good, right? And then food. I mean, you're from where? Hometown? You said where?
Oxnard, California.
Oxnard, California, right? So, and then of course, ethnicity, family is from
Mexico.
Mexico, right? So we have Filipino is GM2 from GM2 Kansas from Philippines. So we do have shared the same kind of cuisine because we've been influenced by Spain, right? we're all big family here.
It's not
Right.
the same though. It's not the same.
All right. Well, true. All right. We'll talk offline who has the best cuisine, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now this leads to how about you, GM2? What's your favorite aspect being here? What's a big or memorable? You've been here over 3 years, right? So what do you like about Spain?
I would say experiencing like new culture. Also, what AO2 Mendoza say, like trying new food, travel around Spain or Europe. Experiencing like the feria.
That's pretty awesome. It should be similar.
Yes.
Similar, and then same thing with if you've experienced feria in Mexico. I'm not sure if you've been to Mexico since. Have you visited your parents or your aunts, uncles?
My whole lifetime, I think I went to Mexico 2 times.
You have not experienced the feria there.
But I haven't experienced no.
I'm gonna tell you, comparing all the feria, Spain have the best one.
Really?
Rota, I've enjoyed it. I love it. Right? It's just different. I think it's the costume too, like the dress, right?
Oh, yeah.
The girls, the ladies, they're beautiful because it made that more like you're in a movie, you know. So my kids, my wife, enjoyed it, and some of our friends enjoyed. So looking forward for the next year. Okay. Now, let's talk about some of your hobbies or activities. Now, summer's, here. What do you guys like to do? Activities off base that you have picked up since arriving in Spain?
I would say for mine would be water activities. Like last summer, I did some kayaking, cliff jumping, and I'm planning to do it again this summer.
Good. How about scuba diving? Have you tried signing up with MWR and get open water certification?
No, not yet. I
Look
would
into
like to.
Good. How about you, AO2?
I would say running. I've been running a little bit more. I think they're very active here in Spain. You don't gotta, they're very active. So I think, I've experienced the gym outside as well.
Okay.
Off base, and they're intense. I like it.
That's good. So let me ask you this. Since you like running, have you participated in the most recent half marathon that went through base?
I did not know.
So I think there's how many runners? Over 2,000. 2,000 I heard. I don't know. I can't really. But there's plenty, right? It went through base it started in Puerto, all the way to Pier 1 is the turnaround, and then went back through housing and back to Fuente Brava Gate, back to Puerto. So it was amazing. There's so many runners out there. And I was in front. I was in front of my, driveway, just cheering because I used to run a lot, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that could have been me. I was like, what happened,
Yeah.
But that was good. You're right about Spanish or Spain. The Spain culture is different. There's a lot of outdoor activities, right? So make sure you take advantage. All right. So now, the last question I have, number 5. Do you prefer Spanish tortilla with or without onion?
Whoa.
Mendoza, this will be, I'm looking at you directly, right? So,
Yeah.
AO2, what do you think?
I think, well, you can't really taste it, I guess, the onion in the tortilla.
Yeah?
But I'm not the biggest fan of onion, right?
Yeah?
It has a strong taste. So, but if I can't taste it, it's fine. So I would say with. I'll give it a chance.
Well, tortilla and tacos, totally two different things. But your taco, you got onions in there.
That one's, yeah.
Burritos, you got onions, but yeah. Okay, I understand where you come from. How about you, GM2?
Honestly, I've only tried it probably twice.
Yeah?
But I would go for without onion just because I don't like onion also.
Okay. I don't even know my preference, right? I'm a foodie, so I'll try everything, right?
That'll be fun.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, over to you, DJ YF Menace.
Yes, so after the break, we will delve into the Navy Munitions Command mission and why it's important for Rota. We'll be right back in a moment. And we are back with CMC Alvarado and our special guest.
All right, good afternoon, Rota family and our listeners. We do have our two special guests, GM2 Kanta and AO2 Mendoza. Let's talk about Navy Munition Command mission unclassified. All right, so what is the main mission of NMC Land Det Rota? Day-to-day operation.
I would say our NMC Land Det Rota's mission is we supply command 5th Fleet, 6th Fleet, and other DoD command with like weapons, ammunition, basically.
Okay, good.
Yeah, to add to that, we're basically the Amazon, no?
Yeah,
For ammunition. Yeah, so we make things happen. You know, we do
That's good.
supply with ammunition. Yeah.
All right, so now let me ask you this. As far as day-to-day operation, what do you do specifically as far as AO? I know GMs and AOs work hand in hand, but for NMC, it's kind of like, hey, you have certain divisions of work centers, so AO2, what you most work with on a day-to-day basis?
As an AO2 right now in NMC, I'm right now I'm in the quality assurance department.
Okay.
And I ensure that, you know, our programs are squared away, as well as I oversee what's going on, you know, the evolutions. Honestly, our schedules are vary.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends, you know. Sometimes we work 8 hours, you know. Or
8 to 12 hours.
12 hours.
And then for you, GM2, same, you know, day-to-day operation, you support each other, and then specifically what work center or what equipment you manage, crew serve, or you...
So for us, I'm on operation department,
Mm-hmm.
which is we do breakouts, ammunition, do inventory, and then that's when we do supply or receive ammo from the ship, from the plane, and even different command.
Okay, so really both of you work hand in hand, right?
Yes. That's
Okay,
true,
good.
yeah.
So now we talk about briefly on the importance of what you guys do, the mission, but at the same time, the operation and all the supporting commands you guys support. And then safety-wise, talk to me briefly about safety. When you guys do the operate, let's say on the pier, right? Safety. What's the importance of safety?
I think safety is very important because, yes, we want to accomplish the mission, but I think at the same time, you know, we want to make sure that, you know, everybody eats, you know, everybody knows to stay away from certain equipment, you know, like the crane operating, you know, PPE. I think that comes before anything. I think if anything goes wrong, you know, no one's really gonna care about the mission. I think,
Yeah,
right?
so-
We're gonna stop it and
True.
continue.
And you guys are definitely the eyes and ears on the deck plate with all the evolutions. Because there's a lot happening, right?
Yes.
Yes, we're on land, but at the same time, you know, take that in consideration. Both of you have been on ship. You were on squadron, or were you on squadron? Never been on ship?
Squadron Master Chief, but I did go on deployment.
Deployment, right? So both of you have been on the ship and doing the same job. Your primary job on the ship is totally different because it rocks, right? There's some restrictions, some red deck there. When you know, when ship is maneuvering, you should not be moving any ammos, and of course, when handling ammunition on board, you know, that's all hands evolution, right? So I think it's the same. Safety is first, right? Safety first, and mission always, right?
Yes.
Now, last thing, There's a couple of things. How does Naval Station Rota support your command to get the job done?
I would say the naval station support our command by sending security to escort us from our compound to the pier. Also, P-Dubs helps us fixing our Fiat, our semi, our forklifts whenever we need it. NAVFAC crane crew, every time we have
the transportation crew,
yes,
right?
Every time we have pier up. And also the air freight also help us like shipping our equipment to a different detachment.
Yeah, so it's really so that's good to know, right? Because I've seen it whenever we have ammunition, and then of course they're gonna secure certain routes, right? And then that's with our local nationals, Spanish counterparts as well, supporting our security team. And then same thing with the base support, right? So make sure that's one of our missions is to make sure that we support warfighters first and foremost. Okay, good to know. Now, what is the most rewarding aspect of your job? So what do you think is like, all right, this is great, right? But then you can also say, you know what, it's time for me to go. I've been here 3.5 years. I got 6 months left, and then of course for you still got 6 months or a year left. AO2.
I have a year and a half left.
Did you OTAP?
I did, yeah.
Okay, good. Where are you going next? GM2.
Still waiting to apply, but I'm planning to go to Japan again.
Japan?
Yes, actually.
Which one? Yokosuka, Atsugi, Sasebo?
Yokosuka. I was in Sasebo on my previous command, so I want to go back to Yokosuka.
Okay, good. Yokosuka is different than Sasebo. Sasebo is more, you're going to enjoy the Japanese prefecture, like lands and all that, right?
Yes.
And then Yokosuka is more city life, busier, but at the same time you can just hop on the train and go to Tokyo, right, and enjoy. I mean, I think it's one of the safest Asian country, right?
Yes.
Especially for kids, they train differently at a young age, and you'll see all these young kids, using the public transportation. Okay, well, thank you to both of you for being our guests here and for the information that you have provided, not just me, but also our Rota listeners. And then some stuff that I want to put out before we close this out. Naval Station Rota is home to units that operate across the spectrum of military operations. We are the foundation from which these forces operate to deter conflict and, if necessary, fight and win, right? And then a enduring partnership between U.S. and Spanish forces aboard Naval Station Rota is indispensable to the safe and secure refueling, rearming, resupply, and repairing of U.S. and NATO forces operating in Europe, Africa, and Middle East. And then, of course, all that stuff, we do have a lot to consider, too. But that's going to be after our short break here. So I'm going to turn it over to DJ YF Menace.
Yes, so of course we really appreciate you teaching us about your jobs and your command, and we hope to see you continue to rearm our fleet and ensure that Naval Station Rota continues to be on the tip of the spear. And we are back with CMC Alvarado.
Good afternoon, Rota family and our listeners. I just have a couple of, or three, installation updates here. First, unaccompanied housing bicycle registration has been submitted. So for some of you sailors and our service member that resides in our barracks, now until July 18th, if you live in UH, register your bike at the front desk at Building 35, so we can start cleaning up all those abandoned bikes around our unaccompanied housing. Second thing is a reminder, PCS peak season. Summer is the busiest season for PCS moves. So if you have any question with that, contact our NAVSTA FLC Rota, household goods, personal property officer for that. So make sure your transition to your next duty station is smooth. And then last thing is for our military service member, we have sent out the flag raising notice July 3rd. 0730 in front of Building 1 on formation, and whatever uniform that's been identified on that notice, please arrive there before 7:30 with your units. And then, of course, Independence Fest, July 4th. From 1700 to 2300 at La Plaza, right across from La Plaza. We're going to have a few food and beverage booths open for the duration of the event, as well as games and events for the entire family. At 9 p.m. is when country star Raylan will be our headline music act, followed by fireworks at 10:45 or 22:45 in the evening. So hopefully to see you guys there. If you have not signed up for volunteer, if you do want to sign up, there's a QR code on social media with NAVAL Rota, so please do so. If not, just enjoy the events, festivities on Independence Day.
Alrighty. And that has been our CMC Super Show today. Of course, thank you to all of our guests that came by. And if you ever want to listen to it on your favorite podcast platforms at any time, you absolutely can.